Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back. I'm Jake the Muslim Metaphysician. And today's episode, guys, is not an exciting episode as I typically use as an intro to most of my videos. This video is not clickbait, it's not meant to get views, it's not meant for anything of the sort. The main reason why I've decided to make this video public and speak about my current condition is because I feel that I have a connection to my audience. I feel that I should be open and honest with them. And also, there may be people who are going to watch this video who are regular viewers of mine that maybe have gone through something similar or know a family member, a friend that has gone through something similar. And maybe in the comment section, one of you guys could leave me some beneficial advice regarding the specific condition that I'm in and what I'm currently going through and experiencing. So as the video title or the thumbnail indicates, I have recently been diagnosed with a very serious chronic illness of which there is no cure at the moment. And I was diagnosed about 1 month ago, so at the beginning of June of last month, and I was diagnosed with an illness or disease which is called multiple sclerosis, or sometimes known for short as MS. For those who don't know very much about it, I'm not making this a video to give a very detailed education and explanation of what MS is, but I'm going to briefly explain it, not from my words, because I just started learning about the illness since I've been diagnosed about a month ago. So let me share this with you guys. This is from Mayo Clinic, which is a very popular, well-researched and well-respected website on medical advice and all sorts of things related to medicine. So as you can see here, it says multiple sclerosis. This is an overview. There's a video there. It gives an example of an image here which shows you what a typical nerve should look like, and then this is a nerve which is affected by MS. Basically, MS is an autoimmune disease which affects the nervous system because instead of defending the body against potential viruses or immunity in the way that it should, it actually attacks your own nervous system, and particularly the nerves. And so what it does is it attacks the outer coating, which is called myelin, and eventually can destroy it, and that's what causes numerous symptoms that we experience. So it says here, in multiple sclerosis, the protective coating on the nerve fibers, myelin, is damaged and may eventually be destroyed. Depending on where the nerve damage occurs, MS can affect vision, sensation, coordination, movement, and bladder or bowel control, all of which I've experienced over about the past month. And I'll go into more detail about exactly how I was diagnosed and what I've been experiencing. So it says here, multiple sclerosis, MS, is a potentially disabling disease of the brain and spinal cord central nervous system. In MS, the immune system attacks the protective sheath, myelin, that covers nerve fibers and causes communication problems between your brain and the rest of your body. Eventually, the disease can cause permanent damage or deterioration of the nerve fibers. Signs and symptoms of MS vary widely between patients and depend on the location and severity of the nerve fiber damage in the central nervous system. Some people with severe MS may lose the ability to walk independently or ambulate at all. Other individuals may experience long periods of remission without any new symptoms, depending on the type of MS they have. There's no cure for multiple sclerosis. However, there are treatments to help speed the recovery from attacks, modify the course of the disease, and manage symptoms. Now, some of the symptoms here that they list are numbness or weakness in one or more of the limbs that typically occurs on one side of your body at a time, tingling, electric shock sensations that occur with certain neck movements, especially bending the neck forward, which is, the technical term is called Lermite sign, which is exactly what I have. When I go like this and put my chin towards my chest, I experience a very serious and strong shock-like sensation that goes and sort of reverberates all throughout my back. So people can look up more exactly what that is, but it's something that I've been experiencing. Lack of coordination, unsteady gait or inability to walk, partial or complete loss of vision, usually in one eye at a time, often with pain during eye movement, prolonged double vision, blurry vision, vertigo, problems with sexual, bowel, and bladder function, fatigue, slurred speech, cognitive problems, mood disturbances, and there actually are more that are not even listed that I've experienced as well. There are other symptoms here. Let me just briefly explain about my particular case. So I want to say about almost 2 months ago, I started my initial symptoms where I started experiencing a numbness or sort of pins and needle feeling in my, initially in my feet. You know, almost like when you lay on your leg or you sit on it the wrong way, or your arm, or maybe even when you fall asleep, sometimes you wake up or you get that sensation like, oh, you know, we say your arm fell asleep or my leg fell asleep. So that's kind of what it felt like in my feet initially, but it was like 24/7, couldn't shake it off, wouldn't go away. I didn't really know what was wrong. And then slowly it started to travel up my legs, eventually until it got to about midway of my stomach, all the way, you know, past my waist. And so that was concerning. Now at the time I had an obligation. If people didn't see recently, there was an AIM conference with Sheikh Uthman, Brother Muhammad Ali from Muslim Lantern, Brother Fareed, many different speakers were there. And I had an obligation to speak at the conference, and I just started experiencing these symptoms about a week or two before the conference started. So I didn't go to a doctor. I actually delayed it and waited until after the conference was done. I was actually feeling really poorly at the time of the conference. And so after the conference, I went to my regular doctor, and they checked me out and did some basic tests, and they said, well, you know, based on, we didn't really find anything, but based on the symptoms that you're explaining, we suggest that you see a neurologist. Now, for people who don't know how it is when your regular doctor refers you to a specialist, a neurologist in the US, sometimes you could not get to, you know, an appointment with that specialist until about 3 months after you calling or contacting the specialist. And then to get the proper testing and everything, it could be, you know, 4 or 5 months down the road. And this was so concerning to me that I just decided not to wait. So I wound up going to the emergency room, and I was admitted to the hospital. And, you know, I'm cutting out a few things because I don't want to make the video too long. I went to the hospital and I went to the emergency room, and eventually I got admitted. And the next day, the next night actually, they did MRI tests or scans basically on my brain and all the way down my spine. And the next morning, a doctor came into the room and broke the news to me that the MRI scans indicated that I have MS or multiple sclerosis, and that's due to them seeing what are called lesions on my brain, which were, in the way that they were shaped and the way they looked like, were indicative of me having MS. And actually, the doctor, and this makes me kind of smile looking back on it, the doctor who actually broke the news to me was a Muslim, and he was somebody who actually recognized me. I actually asked him, "Are you Muslim?" because he looked Muslim, and based on his name and everything. And he said, "Yeah, I'm Muslim." And then he looked at the name and he said, "Oh, wait, are you Jake? Are you Jake, the Muslim metaphysician from YouTube?" And he started talking about some of my videos, and I said, "Yeah, that's me." Yeah, this doctor was really nice. He really took care of me. He wasn't a neurologist. He was an internal medicine doctor. But nevertheless, he did a lot of things for me. He brought me a prayer mat in the room so I could pray properly in the room. He actually brought me some halal food because they didn't have halal food as an option on the menu in the hospital. I mean, go figure. This is the way it is. And so he was really helpful and really nice. So I don't want to mention his name, but if he watches this later, I really did appreciate everything that he did for me in the hospital. And even since then, I've been in contact with him. So yeah, I was diagnosed with MS there. And then after that, I had a couple appointments with a neurologist at an MS center that specializes in multiple sclerosis. Again, without mentioning this doctor's name, she's been really helpful, really great. I think, you know, one of the top specialists in her field in the country. I just, alhamdulillah, you know, by chance, but, you know, qadarullah, that I got hooked up with her was really good, that I got hooked up with a great doctor in that respect. I got a bunch of blood tests and some other further testing done, and they just doubly confirmed that it, you know, it is MS, that what I'm experiencing and what I have. Now, since my initial symptoms of numbness and tingling up to my waist, I've experienced a lot of other things, some of which were listed there. Lack of balance at times, fatigue, muscle weakness, pain, their Lemaitre sign of when I bend my neck down, and right now, wow, it really feels all the way down my spine, almost like, it's hard to explain, but like an electric shock all the way going down the back. And so a number of different things that I've been dealing with after that since then. I haven't started treatment yet. We've actually agreed on a treatment plan, which is called Ocrevus. There are mainly three main ways that MS is treated. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, there's no cure for the disease currently, but make dua for me, inshallah, and make dua that a cure will be found, because they don't really know the cause of MS, and that's one of the reasons why it's difficult for them to find a cure. But there are three main methods of treatment. One is what are called infusion-based therapies, which is what I'm going for because they have typically the highest efficacy and best success rate. The second are self-injection medications. So basically you inject yourself with the medicine usually once every 2 or 3 days, a few times a week. And then the third option is oral medications, taking pills. I wanted to go for the infusion-based medication because it's the highest efficacy treatment, and I think it's the best option for me. My doctor agreed, and so I'm on a plan to actually receive my first treatment in a couple weeks. So I haven't been treated yet, and that's why I'm still not really feeling all that well. So inshallah, the treatment will help me out, and I'll be going for that in about 2 weeks. And that infusion-based medicine, after the first initial time, you then go and receive it in an infusion, kind of like almost when you receive cancer treatment. You go to a center where you're on an IV for a number of hours, and the treatment that I'm going for will be every 6 months, so about twice per year. Anyway, guys, I mean, that's basically all of the details right now. I don't know all that much details about the disease. I've done my own research based on, looking for treatment advice and things of that nature, and, seeing what the prognosis is and what the developments may be. And MS is a very unpredictable disease, and so we can't really say for sure what's going to happen. And obviously, everything is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will. So, alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. I mainly wanted to make this video to be upfront and honest with my audience, because there may be, and I'm not sure about this because everything is still new to me, I may actually be slowing down on the YouTube channel. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I hope that it's not. Hopefully, inshallah, the da'wah will continue. As you guys know, I try to defend Islam on this channel. I try to explain Islam and what it teaches, and give da'wah and educational material for Muslims and non-Muslims alike. So hopefully all of that will continue at the same rate that it's been going on. But if you notice any inconsistencies in the scheduling of the release of videos, it's probably due to what's going on with my current treatment and the current disease. So that about sums it up, guys. Above all, please, guys, keep me in your du'as. If anybody knows any family members or friends, or maybe you guys yourselves have MS or know somebody that does, or have any advice, please leave a comment. I would really appreciate that. And also, there's a link in the description of this video because I've incurred some medical costs due to treatment and due to diagnostic tests and stuff like that. Very expensive. And so if anybody is able to contribute and donate to that, I've made a new GoFundMe link, not the normal one that I mentioned on my channel, a new one that is specifically for my ongoing medical expenses. And so, may Allah bless and reward anyone who contributes to that. I really would appreciate it. And also, there's another link in the description of the video that gives documentation for proof of my diagnosis, for proof of the treatment that I'm going through, for proof of the medical bills that I'm required to pay and that I'm seeking assistance from you guys. And so all of that is there. I'm being upfront and honest with you guys about what my diagnosis is and everything. And if anybody has any questions, you can submit a comment, but everything is there, inshallah. So if you're able to contribute to that, I would really appreciate it. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and reward you all. But if not, above all, please, guys, keep me in your du'as. And again, anyone that has any advice about this and what I'm going through at the moment, please leave a comment on this video. With that being said, guys, inshallah, Thanks again for watching. I know this is not the typical video, but again, keep me in your du'as. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.